I must say that this one is, if there's any confusion about how women are treated or viewed, 521 is a very, it's a key verse to understand something very significant, is that as the Apostle Paul gets into discussing the roles of women and men, he begins with this understanding is submitting yourself one to another in the fear of God.
Right, so submit to one
Submitting,
another out
yes,
of reverence for Christ in a different
yes.
translation.
There we go. There we go. You see? So,
Yeah.
in that sense, that she is worthy of the same kind of submission that the man is,
So
due.
do not try to,
She
would you
is
say this is
worth.
saying do not try to dominate one another, but submit to each other?
Yes,
Try to meet each other's
exactly,
needs halfway?
exactly, exactly.
Right,
That in this regard, there's no, like there's not like, okay, the male is deserving of more and the woman less, or whatever the case is. And so
right.
the Apostle Paul creates a very good standard, a very strong foundation before he goes into understanding is that, okay, guys, this is how you behave in a marriage. But before you understand your different roles, understand this, that before the throne of the Holy God, you guys are submitting to one another in same way. There's no difference between you guys.
Right.
So
I
I
need to
thought
say
that that
thank.
was,
Uh,
yeah, but
yeah, I would say thank you to the Dashing Rogue for the donation, much appreciated. And hi, Stephen, welcome. Yeah, guys. So while we are here, let me bring up just briefly, since we're similar to the topic, in Surah 223, 223, it says here, "Your wives are as a tilth unto you. Approach your tilth when or how you will." Right.
hmm,
So this says that you can do with your wife as you please, when you please. Right. Now notice that Muslim women inherit only half as much as men. Now this is derived from Quran 4:411. We can of course go to the Sharia, and we will, and we can discuss some of these where you'll see that this is written into the law in detail. So the Quran may have one verse that stipulates women inherit half as much as men. The specific details, maybe chapters worth of it or paragraphs worth of it, pages worth, will be found in the Sharia. Notice that women's testimony is only worth half that of a man, and as Muhammad says, women are inferior for men are a degree above them. That is the Quran 2:228. Sahih Bukhari, Muhammad said, is not the evidence of two women equal to the witness of one man. They replied, the women apparently replied in the affirmative. He said, this is because of the deficiency in her intelligence. So Muhammad explicitly says women are deficient in intelligence. Your thoughts?
yeah. Now,
No.
okay. Well, once again, that is like, now that is standing on opposite ends,
Yep.
at least when it comes to the Christian testimony of how to actually view and the intelligence of a woman. At least
Right.
she is wise, definitely.
Yeah. So
Proverbs
let's
31.
yeah, let me bring up another. This is I believe this is Bukhari. So this is the virtues of the prayer hall, the sutra of the Musalla. The things which annul the prayers were mentioned before me. This is Aisha speaking. They said, prayer is annulled by a dog, a donkey, and a woman. And I said, so she says to Muhammad, you have made us, women, dogs. Your thoughts on that?
Huh, I'm actually a little surprised at this stage. Never came across this before.
Yes, I
Well,
know.
I shouldn't be surprised of being surprised at this stage when talking with you. You
Yes,
have a
well,
tendency of surprising me with such
well, let
stuff.
me do hadith number 486. Aisha says, do you make us women equal to dogs and donkeys? She asked this, while I used to lie in my bed, the Prophet would come and pray, and so on. I used to slip away slowly and quietly from the foot of the bed till I got out of my guilt, because he would pray, and she would then leave the room because she felt that she was defiling his prayer, because she felt that he made them equal to dogs and donkeys. This is the
Huh.
great prophet of Islam, in fact, the great God of Islam, and his wife felt like she was a dog or a donkey. Now, I will read one more passage. Aisha,
Not
the most beloved
interesting.
of Muhammad's many wives, said to Muslim women, O womenfolk, if you knew the rights that your husbands have over you, every one of you would wipe the dust from a husband's feet with your face. Reported as Sahih by Ibn Habban and with a Jaid Isnad by Al-Bazr. Its narrators are well known and are thiqat. See Ibn al-Jawzi, Ahkam al-Nisa, page 311. This is Sahih. So if a woman knew the rights of her husband over, she would wipe his feet with her face. Your thoughts?
Wow. Well, shocked again. From at least from a Christian perspective, the just getting into the book of Ephesians as well and stuff, it does definitely seem like there's a lot more responsibility of on the man toward the wife than the wife toward the man. And here, definitely, at least in what you're showing me, the
Hmm.
Islamic perspective of women is definitely a different one. That there is more responsibility of the woman to just, I don't know, be a dog or whatever the case is at this stage. Gee whiz, man.
Yeah.
That is very
Now, this is
radical. Well,
Aisha saying
once
this, and
again,
this is his
very,
favorite
very
wife.
different.
Yes.
Yeah, just saying like at this stage, once again, very, very different than at least the Christian perspective of a woman. Very different.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. So I'll go back to the top. So guys, so hopefully we're starting to see there's a very different aspect between the Christian point of view and the Islamic point of view. Now, I don't think I'm going to read through every single note I have here right now, but you asked me,
Yeah.
for instance, there is a hadith, right? Allah, Muhammad declared, this is from Al-Mujam al-Kabir, a hadith compiled by Imam Tabarani. Muhammad declared that Allah will wed me in paradise to Mary, daughter of Imran. This is the mother of Jesus. This is Mother Mary. So he says here, Allah will wed me in paradise to Mary. Note the Arabic word for marriage denotes legal sexual relations and is devoid of Western romantic connotations. It is a completely different connotation. All right, and I'll continue here. So, you probably are aware that Muhammad is regarded in the history of Tabari as a womanizer. Right? It states bluntly, Muhammad is a womanizer. Now, before I continue, Shamoon, has Jesus been accused of being a womanizer? Because today I heard a very well-known commenter on the channel, a troll called AA Abrams or Triple A Abrams, whichever pseudonym is using today, claiming
Yeah.
that Jesus was consorting with a prostitute who went down on him, while she was washing his feet. And yes, this is the kind of thing they state. Now, I don't think there's any evidence or discussion from the Bible of Jesus having sex with
Well,
prostitutes, but
well, I've
yeah,
also heard what's his name, man? The guy that you made the video about yesterday. What's his
Didat,
name?
Ahmed Didat.
Didat. Didat. Yeah. I've also heard him in many of his presentations make this assertion that Mary was, somehow in a relationship with Jesus, and when Jesus says Mary, he doesn't just say Mary. He says Mary, something about like he's being weird about it. So that's
Yes.
how at least he puts it.